It is the first week of October in 2021, and things would begin to open up after the world had been shut down. It would also be the first Cars and Coffee event in well over a year and a half since everything shut down in my local area, and I was excited to get back into a routine, but I also wanted to get back out and get to see a lot more of cars that I know and love from growing up, as you will definitely see them at these events. But during the time when everything was shut down, I spent a lot of time trying to learn like video editing, and I was even working on a couple of other YouTube channels. But I have been studying a lot of other content creators, learning how video editing and content creation works. So I went down the rabbit hole of trying to figure things out, relentlessly watching videos of other creators that were showing you how to use cameras, how to use all of the gear and all of the essential elements that come with it, because my ultimate goal was to be able to follow in a similar footstep to a degree. While I know I'm still not on that particular level, but I wanted to start. So when the opportunity did arise, it did take a while, mind you, with everything that had happened at that point. And until then, I did have a couple of old cameras lying around. Mind you, the quality of them weren't particularly great, and they wouldn't have been really suited for video, although they were a means to get started. Because how I originally started was way back, even before a lot of things went south, back in 2019, when I was working on a car that I had bought, an old Toyota Celica, and I was using it to learn how to fix things and how to just use it as an overall project. And I originally bought a cheap camcorder off of Amazon to learn how to record videos so that I could document the process. Now, it didn't work out in the way that I would have intended, but I managed to capture enough footage to document a lot of the work that I did. But at the same time, I had it sitting on my computer for a number of years, and I wasn't really sure of how to approach using it, because I had been trying to want to learn how to figure out how to get started with creating a YouTube channel. Now, this was in the early days when I really didn't know what I was doing at all. So I put the footage together and thought nothing of it, and it kind of just got buried then with everything else. Life just got in the way, things happened. But I always had that inkling and that urge and that desire to want to get out and create something. I just hadn't figured out the right angles or approach on what to do. Now, even as of recording this video, I'll be brutally honest, a lot of times I don't like the sound of my voice. I wasn't the most comfortable on camera. I wasn't even the most comfortable even with listening to my voice or even how I present myself. That took a lot of time and effort. Now, it's still not perfect, I don't believe, but other people will see differently. But you all have to start somewhere. But even going back then later to the Cars and Coffee event of 2021 in October, and a few months prior to it, I had bought myself a better camera. I'd bought myself a Canon G7X Mark II, as I'd really wanted to try and just level up. And I said to myself, right, I wanted to get a decent camera in order to at least start creating some form of content that at least was fitting for purpose. And I had watched a lot of videos of other YouTubers that had been using this camera at the time, so I bit the bullet and I went and I bought it. And I have to say, it's never failed me, because I still use it even today, and it's still my backup camera even now, and it's still fairly decent at taking good photographs. It's a good all-round solid camera, so I always have it with me now wherever I go, because there's always a point that I'll end up using it, or if batteries die on other cameras or resources that I have, that'll be my go-to thing. Because of the fact of its simplicity, its overall size, it's very easy just to take with you and pop in your pocket and take it when you need. So it was a no-brainer at the end of the day. But when I arrived at the Cars and Coffee event, I had started going round and looking at cars, and I had the camera with me in my pocket, but I wasn't really sure of whether to just start recording. If anything, I suppose with being out of action for a long period of time and not having those social interactions, you do kind of start to withdraw into yourself, and I know I'm not the only one in that frame of mind. That happened to a lot of people back then. So you had to kind of fight with yourself to get out and to do something. And I remember I was there for nearly an hour, and I was kind of like, will I or won't I use the camera? And what ended up happening was I ended up jumping into my car, started the engine, and I literally sat there for about 5 or 10 minutes, not really doing anything, just sitting there and just watching everything that was going on around me. If anything, I was almost sweating out of pure fear, because I was in my own head and I was afraid of what people would think if I had taken the camera out and just started recording. But as I sat there mulling over my thoughts, I began to notice certain things happening outside. I noticed a lot of other people were using cameras. Some of them were even walking around with gimbals and had high-end cameras and stuff, and I was like, wait a minute, they're doing exactly what I want to do, and nobody's batting an eyelid, nobody's saying anything to them, and they're doing exactly the things that I want to do. I want to learn how to do it, and I knew I did want to do it, but I was just stopping myself from doing it. And I was like, well, if they're doing it, why can't I do it? So after a few moments, I was kind of back and forth, nearly fighting with myself, and then I just said to myself, screw this. So I got my camera out of my pocket, turned the engine off of the car, got out and started walking around, and took the camera out of my pocket and literally just started recording. And the funny thing is, since that point I've never looked back. It was daunting, I will admit, when I was in the middle of doing it, because I always had that thought in my head, like, what are people thinking and this and that. But it's funny, it got easier the more I did it. And as the months went on, I started going to more car shows. I was still taking the camera with me. Yes, I wasn't perfect at it, but I needed to learn. I needed to do something, and it was the best way for me at that point to do it. That's why I even have mentioned in previous videos, if you are just starting out on this journey, car shows are some of the best avenues that you can take just to learn how to use a camera and to put yourself in those uncomfortable positions like I did. Because I think if I had not made that decision, I wouldn't be sitting here now talking to you. It's as simple as that. Because I would have just kept making the same old excuses, always daydreaming and not doing anything. But it's funny now when I look back, you really do learn by doing. And those small steps have led on to so many different avenues, even open up new doors for really good opportunities, even potential jobs. Even I work at myself now part-time where I do video work for the likes of clients and for other jobs. But the reason why I still go to the car shows is because I'm still always looking for ways to learn. I'm still always looking for that avenue of what can I do that I didn't do before? What can I take that I can add into what I'm already doing just to make it that little bit better? Even to a point that I enjoy what I do that much now that I want to be able to teach people as well, especially people that are just starting out exactly where I was, because I know how that feels. And I'm in my 40s now as of recording this video, and it took a long time for me, even in my own personal life, to really build up that confidence in myself to be able to get out there and do these things. And it wasn't until I started making things happen like this here that you begin to realise that things aren't so bad. If anything, the one thing that I have learned from all of this, and even on this journey, is that when you're out there recording with a camera, yes, people will come up to you and they'll be nosy and they'll be curious. People will ask what you're doing, but nobody ever really tells you to stop doing anything, unless obviously with certain elements you have to be mindful of, like people, and there's certain places you can record and certain places you can't record, and that's fine. But with car shows, that really isn't an issue at all. You pretty much have the freedom to record any type of car that you like to a degree. That's where I learned to really build up my confidence and my skills with using the camera. While at the time it still wasn't perfect, like I said, but it gradually got better. But even looking back now, I realise what was I worrying about, because there really was no issue with anything. I was just in my own head. The truth is nobody cares, because there's a lot of other people out there also doing the same things, and there's a very good chance that the people that I would have crossed paths with at these car shows, that I even still cross paths with today, are just beginning their journey and they're just starting out for the first time as well. So my point is here is that if I struggled with this, but yet I was able to overcome these elements with regards to getting out there and recording videos and making something happen, there's absolutely no reason why you can't do the same. Yes, it's never going to be perfect in the beginning, I can attest to that, but you do have to start, and you'll be amazed at what you can achieve when you do put your best foot forward and just try to learn a little bit every day, and just try to improve at least 1% with everything that you do. Just show up as your best self and the rest will take care of itself. But over time you'll find that you'll be looking for more avenues. You'll realise, oh, I can do more here. I realise I can achieve a lot more, and I want to achieve more. So really the sky's the limit. So if you're holding yourself back and you're wanting to start this journey of content creation, or just even getting out there and just shooting with a camera, whether it be for video or just taking photographs, pretty much anything in life, the only one that's holding yourself back is you. If anyone stands in your way, well, you just move out of the way and you keep pushing forward regardless. You don't let people get in your way, especially when you're doing something that you know can bring value to your life, that could change your life, and that you can also help others along the way. If anything now, from what I'm doing, it inspires me even more to help people, because I also realise that there is people out there that were in the same journey as me. So if I know that I can teach someone how to do something that they probably didn't know what to do, then I know I'm on the right path. I know it might sound like I'm waffling on here, but for me it's something that I just had to get out there, because I have been on that journey. This was a struggle for me when I first started doing this, because I didn't really know what to do, where to go. It's funny, you can study all the videos you want, but if you don't put that knowledge into action, nothing will ever happen. So like, you can watch as many YouTube channels, like I still watch a lot of them today because I just love to learn. If I sit down to watch something, I generally watch stuff that's car related, or I watch stuff with regards to videos or content creation, because I want to learn how to better create content for myself. I want to be able to look at what people are doing, what's working, and try and act upon that and say to myself, right, is there something here that I can also use, or something that I can do? Like, I'm not comparing myself to those people to a point that, right, I know I'll never be able to achieve what they can achieve. They're on a completely different level, but it inspires me enough to want to get out there and to try something, at least to better myself. And if I can get even close to it, then I know I'm doing a good job. But it will build up your confidence in yourself, and that will spiral into other areas of your life too, because other people will start to notice that as well. So there's a lot of benefits just to getting out of your comfort zone, and just to take a camera with you and just start doing things that you normally wouldn't do. You're only limited by your imagination. destination, and the only one that is holding you back in life is you. There really is no limit to what you can do when you do put your best foot forward. So I'm just hoping that by sharing this, that it will inspire someone out there that has, or that currently is on the same path that I was on. Because I still have my good days and bad days, don't get me wrong. Just know that it's a journey. Never really focus on the destination, because there's always something to learn. Like I said, I'm always watching videos, even in my spare time. I'm always watching car related stuff, anything to do with cars really. And then video stuff. What are the best settings to use in cameras? What's the best cameras to use in different scenarios? But for me, it's a way of how can I combine the two? How can I take my love for cars and my love for content creation and cameras? How can I make them sync? So that's what I'm trying to do here. Whether it works or not in the future with this channel, who knows? But if I don't start, I'll never know. It's never going to be perfect, and it's not going to be as good as what other people can do. That's totally fine. But everybody's different. You just do what you can do your best. Don't try to be perfect, because that only slows you down. Start a project, come up with an idea, finish it, and then move on to the next. And just try to chip away and get a wee bit better with each one that you do moving forward. Because you'll be amazed at what you can achieve when you just pick up a camera and hit record.